Hello everybody and welcome back to Month of Bionicle, where I look at the Bionicle Adventure series I did as I was Enchilada 645 back in the day. Or, for some reason, I called it Bionicle Battles for some reason. But Bionicle Adventures was an interesting series as well. How would I say this? This introduced a mainstay of my channel and various things. And that would be Zero, my mock, or my own creation, basically. Zero is basically supposed to be based on Zero Lelouch from Code Geass. And as such, well, I tried to base him off of that. In a bionicle sort of way. But for some reason, this first outing of him, which is only present in one episode, it came out very weird looking. He didn't have that much armor on him. He had that weird launcher on his shoulder. That was probably because I used both new Parus. So, yeah, the Kraken also was the mask he's wearing is called the Kraken. Anyway, Mask of Shadows was really, really weird in terms of a helmet piece for him. And so I decided to revamp him a lot, and you'll see that in the next video that I revamped him. I gave him more armor, I gave him a more cohesive appearance, and I removed the Mask of Shadows in favor of Onua's mask. And with that, it gave him a more anti-hero look. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. A little plot twist is coming up in like episode 3 or so. Anyway, yeah. So Zero basically was created in honor of Zero from Code Geass, because I was really into Code Geass at the time. But back in the early days of YouTube, these videos were only, or rather, my early days of YouTube, these videos were only 1 to 3 minutes long, because my internet sucked. I had dial-up till like early or late 2010. I can't remember which one. It might have been 2011 actually, which is strange that I was able to go all these years without, actual internet. And, that actually sucks. But I managed. But, a lot of this would have probably been one big movie / series of random events happening if I actually had high-speed internet back then. Oh, this is also when I had a microphone, and I kind of hid my voice from back when, because, well, how would I say this? My voice does not translate well onto video recording devices, or recording devices in general. Well, back then anyway. It really felt like I was a girl back then, and any kind of dramatic voice I had was utterly destroyed. Not to mention the fact that I didn't want to be too loud, because I didn't have the computer wasn't in my own room, so, it couldn't be too loud, and I had to make sure, my grandma and my mom weren't talking. And so, yeah, that's why some of my voices, well, that's why the voices in this series in general are very low, and if it's a yell, it's like, yelling, yeah, totally, oh, yeah. But, yeah, why did I have Fenrock attack, Vizon? I don't know why. Anyway, that was weird as to why Zero's sword was like, or hand was like, put back there, like taken off. A lot of choices in these videos I really question them nowadays. And so, yeah. Zero, he has a more cohesive design now, but Zero's design back then was a very big step up from episode 1. And we have a hint at our plot twist, which is coming up in the next episode, which is now. Anyway, one of the few instances where you will not see a Makuta and a Toa fighting each other. And so, yeah. This was the plot twist, that Jollir was actually Zero, because he had gotten attacked by Tridax pods, and he actually resisted it enough to where Zero was just a split personality, but the shadow powers could come out and manifest themselves as Zero. So, yeah, very convoluted, and it would have gotten convoluted later on if this series actually did frickin' continue, because oh my god, the series, most of the episodes I had in mind were so frickin' convoluted that I don't even. The original Bionicle Adventures did not have this convoluted of a backstory, though I admit it was very weird having three Kopakas and Leewas running around at the same time in the original Bionicle Adventures. Because not only did I have Mata, Kopaka, and Leewa moving around, I also had Toanuva, Leewa, and Kopaka, and Fantoka, Leewa, and Kopaka. And this is a rant that is going nowhere, but it is pretty much because there's not much else to say in this episode. Zero kind of puts himself as an anti-hero in this episode, more so. And Jollar tells, Motoro that he is Zero. But it's not like it's going to matter, because Zero is going to get split up from Jollar anyway in the next episode, which we are coming up to right about now. Yeah, so in this episode, Vizon splits Zero into two, but Jollar grabs the Spear Fusion from him, and so Vizon has to rely on a new weapon. But this plot point gets dropped later on in terms of Vizon not having the spear. Vizon, though, like I said in my top 10 Bionicle sets, he is like one of my favorite single set Bionicles. I enjoy him a lot, and it's probably because of the staff and the cape he had, which I like to use for Zero, and some of my other mocks. The cape was a very nice thing, and I wish I could easily find it online. I know I could probably try and check Bricklink, but I don't know what to search for in that regard for Bricklink. If anyone knows what I should specifically type in or like what to search exactly, or give me a link or something, that would be appreciated, because I'd love more Vizon capes. I love the Vizon capes. But yeah, Icarax kills Vizon in this, and you'll be questioning this a bit later. But I basically bluff it off by saying Vizon made a bunch of clones of himself for some reason, and so Vizon will live and live and live and live. And for some reason, I have screenshots of episode 3 on here. And that I don't even know what I was thinking with that. This is a weird series in terms of what my thought process was back then, because I don't even remember half of what was going on in my head when I did these things. Anyway, episode 5 and 6, it's a two-parter. Basically, the Toa, Zero, Kopaka, Zero, Kalma, and Prydak get captured by the Makuta, and they get busted out by one of Zero's new helpers, Spike, who only lasts several bunches of episodes because, how would we say, he needed to be used for a grunt. A very bad design grunt. And, well, yeah, the whole Black Knights thing with Zero didn't really work out in the end, to be honest. And I don't even know what I was thinking of. Oh yes, World War Vizon, because I'm all like, World War Hulk inspiration, I don't know. Again, I don't even know that much. Anyway, so. Oh yeah, I remember. Back then, with the, camera flash, I could not, wait. I'm using Takadox's hypnotic eyes. Something that's actually canon. What the hell? Why am I doing this? Oh, anyway, getting back to this. Well, actually, I can't believe I cared for, like, canon abilities back then. But, going back to it, with the camera nonsense, I couldn't actually, how would you say, well, it would flash, which is why you're seeing the pictures as they are right now. And instead of, with there being shadows and stuff, and why if there's close-ups of characters, they get bright like that. Like if you get close up to them in certain areas because of the reflections and stuff, and because the flash. But getting on to the reason sometimes I don't turn on the flash is because of the Bionicle weapons, because they make this cool glow effect that you saw when World War Vizon was shooting at people. And so I made sure to turn off the flash for that, take the picture, turn the flash back on, because without the flash, the camera is not steady at all. And that is unfortunate for some... Well, I had a Kodak camera back then, so that was a bit weird. So, on to part 2 of this two-parter, and the final 3 minutes of this short archive video. But don't worry, there will be more, because I plan on actually going through most of my Bionicle videos that I've actually done. But yeah, Bionicle Adventures series would have gone over hundreds of episodes, probably, because of all the ideas, all the scenarios, everything I had. But it would have ended in a spectacular kind of fashion. Eventually, I got 2 of the Toa Mystica, which were Gali and Tahu, and I also got Pohatu finally. Oh, and there's Spike. Say hello to Spike. But anyway, and then I would have gotten Takanuva as well. And so with this, I also got Krika and Gorast. So getting back onto that, it would have been a big, even, I'd like to say, yeah, 6-way brawl between the Makuta and the Toa, while Zero fought off the Baraki, Vizon, and any other random villain figure that, my mind came up with back then. And obviously the Toa Mari, other Toas that I had built back then, and a couple of other sets like Hydraxon and so forth would work together, defeat those guys, lock them up, and the Makuta would be defeated, with Antraz basically doing a coup de grace, betraying Icarax and Krika. I believe he killed Krika, or mostly injured Krika, and Icarax was almost killed as well, but Zero seals himself and Antraz away into an alternate dimension. And the series ends with one of my other mocks, Soren, or Neos, which you've never... I think you've seen him like once or twice, but it would end with him basically taking up the mantle of Zero, kind of like how... kind of something similar as to what happened at the end of Code Geass. But this is pretty much the end, and like I said, I think I'll elaborate more on the ending and the actual sequel series I frickin' thought of. But yeah, this was the beginning of Bionicle Adventures. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I did, going back through memory lane. Don't worry, more Enchilada 645 archives are on the way, so, stay tuned for that. Anyway, I'm Zero, continue on with Month of Bionicle, and I'll see you later.